I'm not objective about this, but this was hitting bottom yesterday. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski.
These are young players that you're so invested in their development, so I'll let the week play out and make a decision later on that.
This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur, or at least Cold War on Shedeur, because he won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions.
Kevin Stefanski's mentality is under intense scrutiny as more and more signs point to a troubling attitude that can no longer be ignored. The Cleveland Browns head coach, who's been trying to build his image as a leader who supports young talent, is now facing accusations that speak to something much darker. Recently, it's become evident that Stefanski's behavior towards Shedeur Sanders is not what it seems on the surface. Despite publicly claiming he wants to see Sanders succeed, his actions, and more importantly, his silence, tell a very different story. In his latest interview, Stefanski took it to a whole new level of evasiveness, even refusing to mention Shedeur's name directly. Instead, he spoke in riddles, throwing out vague statements, leaving analysts and fans alike questioning what's really going on behind closed doors. Some have even begun to refer to this as an open war between Stefanski and Shedeur. But what's shocking is that it's not coming from Shedeur, who's remained quiet, but rather, it's all stemming from Stefanski's side. His actions and behavior speak volumes, and the Browns fan base is starting to take notice. Kevin Stefanski's decision to make Bailey Zappi the QB2 over Shedeur Sanders has sparked widespread frustration among fans and analysts alike. Stefanski defended his choice by claiming that he's not willing to take risks with young players like Shedeur. It almost feels as though he's trying to calm everyone down, assuring them that everything is under control. But if we look closer, his actions paint a different picture. Despite his constant justification that Shedeur is too young for such a responsibility, he's willing to give opportunities to players like Quinshon Judkins, who didn't even have a full training camp yet is still making an impact on the field. If Judkins can rise to the challenge, why is Shedeur being held back from the same chance? The double standard is glaring, and it only adds to the growing concerns about Stefanski's true intentions.
Yeah, I trust in all of our players. I trust in their ability and those type of things. I just always want to set our guys up for success, bottom line.
Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back in his criticism of Kevin Stefanski's recent decisions, pointing out the glaring inconsistencies in his handling of the quarterback situation. When Stefanski moved Joe Flacco out of the starting role, it seemed like a clear signal that Shedeur Sanders would be the next in line to take the backup spot. But instead of giving Shedeur that opportunity, Stefanski made Flacco the QB2.
So I looked at it like that, and I just said to myself, okay, but that's how it goes. Joe Flacco's a veteran. Kevin Stefanski, knows what he's doing as a coach, etc. But then something like this happens. We're supposed to sit here and believe that Bailey Zappi is a guy that's the QB2 on this squad. Really, that's what we're doing now?
Stephen A. didn't stop there. He went on to stress how strange it is that Shedeur Sanders is still sitting so far down the depth chart. He highlighted Sanders' impressive performance against the Panthers in the preseason, pointing out that he played exceptionally well. On top of that, Stephen A. noted that Shedeur's behavior off the field reflects his strong character, making him not only a talented player but also a great person. Despite all of this, Stefanski continues to overlook him, even though he often talks about the importance of rookie development. It just doesn't add up. And Stephen A. made it clear that this situation is beyond frustrating.
Shedeur Sanders played well, albeit against Carolina. Obviously, another game in the preseason, not so much. And I get that part too. And of course, I get the fact that he's practicing with the team every day, so the coach knows. I'm just finding it hard to believe that it's so difficult to name him a QB2, especially when you say you're so invested in the kid's development.
Dan Orlovsky also chimed in, expressing his disbelief over Stefanski's handling of the entire situation. He pointed out how chaotic everything has become, from the trade of Joe Flacco to the confusing quarterback depth chart decisions. Orlovsky argued that it makes no sense for Stefanski to elevate Bailey Zappi to the QB2 spot, especially with Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback he's personally developed, still on the roster. According to Orlovsky, this decision has left everyone baffled, as it simply doesn't add up or make logical sense.
let's see what he says. Like, let's see once they declare who the number 2 quarterback is going to be, who that actually is. Stephen A., when you say it doesn't smell right, in what regard? That would be my question, because are you saying it doesn't smell right because he's not naming Shedeur?
Coach Stefanski's continued refusal to give Shedeur Sanders a real chance is rapidly becoming one of the most confusing decisions in Cleveland this season. The Browns find themselves stuck in a quarterback predicament. Yet Stefanski keeps pushing the narrative of a developmental quarterback, as though fans are still buying into it. The truth is, it's clear to everyone that the team is struggling at the quarterback position. But Stefanski is adamant that it's all about long-term development. For fans, this has become a hard pill to swallow, as the team's immediate needs are being overlooked in favor of a future that feels increasingly uncertain.
These are young players that you're so invested in their development, so I'll let the week play out and make a decision later on that. Yeah, I trust in all of our players. I trust in their ability and those type of things. I just always want to set our guys up for success, bottom line.
Skip Bayless also voiced his strong criticism of Stefanski's approach, expressing complete disgust over the coach's failure to even mention Shedeur Sanders by name. Bayless argued that this behavior represents the worst kind of coaching for any young athlete in the NFL, stating that it's a disservice to a player's growth and development. For Bayless, this kind of treatment is unacceptable and undermines the very foundation of effective coaching. Kevin Stefanski has always been a coach surrounded by skepticism, with many questioning his decision-making. However, as the situation with Shedeur Sanders continues to unfold, it's becoming increasingly clear that there's more to this than just coaching decisions.
You know, I'm not objective about this, but this was hitting bottom yesterday. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski.
While it was once a matter of doubt, the growing evidence now points to a personal bias that can't be ignored. Stefanski's actions seem to stem from a place of disdain for Shedeur, and some are starting to question whether there's a racial undertone to this behavior. What initially appeared as poor coaching decisions is now becoming a more serious issue, with the possibility of racism creeping into Stefanski's choices. This situation goes beyond football. It's a troubling reflection of deeper issues, and it's time the NFL takes a hard look at the motivations behind such decisions. What do you think is really going on with Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders? Is it simply a matter of coaching strategy? Or is there something more personal at play here? Why do you think Stefanski continues to sideline Shedeur, even when the team is clearly struggling at quarterback? Do you believe that there's a racial element to this situation? Or is it just poor decision-making on Stefanski's part? And if Shedeur Sanders is truly being overlooked because of bias, what should the NFL and the Cleveland Browns organization do about it? We want to hear your thoughts. Are we witnessing a coaching failure? Or is something more troubling at the heart of this controversy?